Welcome back to another episode of Queerpreneurs Unleashed. I'm your host, Dustyn Baulkham, and I have the pleasure of interviewing other 2S LGBT plus entrepreneurs. Today we're recording from the traditional ancestral territory of the Syilx Okanagan people, and we honor and respect the land on which we work, play, and live. And today, I'm happy to have my friend Sarah here.
Hello.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
That's great. I know I kind of been poking you and your wife to get on. So
I think every time we see you, you're like, I got an interview. Yeah. Okay. Sounds good.
That's good. And we're actually interviewing from your parents' house.
Yes, we are at my parents' bed and breakfast in Kelowna here. So,
which is great. It's cute.
Nice ambiance happening.
Yeah, we're actually, you might not realize we're actually in one of the bedrooms.
Yes, we are.
Yeah. So yeah, let's talk a bit about you before we get into your business. Okay. Obviously, I know that you're a real estate agent.
Yes.
I know that, but other people might not know that. But how do you identify?
Lesbian.
Lesbian?
Lesbian, yes. Yes.
And tell me a bit about your coming out story.
I don't really know. I mean, I guess it started when I met my now wife. Yeah. I was 21, so maybe a bit later, I don't know. But
that's when I came out.
Yeah?
Give or take, yeah.
Yeah, that basically was it. We met online and fell in love, and I was like, yep, I guess I'm gay. So, yeah, so we've been together ever since. And
so how many years have you been together?
12.
Okay. And married?
Going on 13. Oh, gosh, 5?
Okay.
2018 is when we got married.
So you weren't the stereotypical lesbian couple that was the U-Haul on the second date?
No, we were both living at home, going to school. Okay. Actually, we went to OC together. That was years ago. Yeah, it was weird. But, no, we didn't move in until, I don't know, maybe a year or so after.
Okay.
Yeah. No, we didn't U-Haul on the second date.
I always love that joke.
I know, right?
And now you got a little boy.
Yes, our baby boy Theodore.
He's adorable.
He's just so much fun. I love him. Yeah.
And I think you're the first one on the podcast that has a kid.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're also the first female. It's been all male except for Ella, who's two-spirit.
Yes, of course.
And so that's the other reason I'm like, I need to get some diversity.
Okay. Yep.
We need to all. Our community is very diverse.
Yes,
and so we want to get all aspects of that because there's so many different cool queer entrepreneurs out there.
Yes, there are. A lot more than you think, I think.
It's true. Well, and
you've been busy with this. So.
Yeah.
There you go.
But it's good because, I've had some new people kind of come, either seen the podcast or they've submitted their interest. And so I've got to learn of some other cool queer people. And there's so many businesses out there that are not targeted towards the queer community that are owned by queer people. So I think it's important to highlight that because a lot of us want to support each other. Right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So it's just we understand each other a bit more than most heterosexuals.
Yeah, and we can empathize with each other.
Exactly.
Yeah, totally. I get that.
So obviously we're in your parents, so obviously they're still in your life.
Yes.
But how was that part of your coming out?
Good. My dad is such a business person, and the first thing he said was well, I've worked with a lot of lesbian women. I was like, okay. And he's like, yeah, I don't know. It was just so funny that he. Yeah. But no, honestly, it was a bit of a struggle at first, but now my parents adore Amanda, and I'm very lucky that way that they've accepted this, and I'm very lucky, I think.
Good.
And my sisters and everyone, even Amanda's family, and we're very fortunate that way, and we are who we are, so
totally
get used to it.
Well, you're hearing more and more. Nowadays you hear more and more good stories, but there's still some bad ones out there. People come out, and I think it's important to highlight both the good and the bad because
of course.
Just because you might not have a great relationship with your family doesn't mean you can't be a successful person in life.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, let's talk a bit more. Let's talk about your business then. So you're a realtor.
Yes, yep.
How long have you been a realtor for?
5 years in Canada, I like to say, because we started in England. So
did you start real estate in England?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, I started with a company in London. So we were selling flats in London. And so then we moved back home and I did my licensing again. It's a totally different system in London. So, so 5 years, June.
Wow.
It's crazy.
And what what made you interested in real estate to go down that path?
I think I've always been interested in real estate.
Yeah.
Like we've moved around a little bit and having the B&B, but Mom and I would always go to like open houses and be Snoopy, I feel like, and just like say, "Ooh, what's this house?" Or right. And I think that's what, I don't know. Like I've always been into like design kind of aspect too, and working with people. And then I originally actually was I did the criminology program.
Okay.
Thinking maybe I'll get into policing, but we moved abroad, so I was going through that whole system of that, but we moved to England, and then I was like, well, I can't be a police officer here. You have to live there for a certain amount of time. And friends that we were with, they're like, you should get into a state agency. I was like, what? Like, and she's like, yeah, like just there's recruitment's a huge thing in London. So I basically got dressed up, went to this recruitment agency, and they're like, oh, we have an interview with this big company. Do you know? It's called Foxtons is who I worked with. And I was like, no, I don't. Like it's a big company over there.
Yeah.
And anyway, so yeah, it was such a wild ride, and you would either get placed, like you were placed in London where you basically lived kind of, and it's either you do lettings, which is rentals. So I thought, oh, they're not going to hire me Canadian like to sell flats in London, houses in London, and sure enough, they're like, no, you're doing sales, and here you go, like. Yeah, it's quite it was a wild ride. So,
is there like an education component?
They train you. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I did a very intensive program with them at their headquarters, and then they say this is where you're gonna be. This is your office. This is your car. They gave me a car, phone. Yeah, like they set you up, and they're like, here you go, explore. It's like, okay, so I'm driving in London on the wrong side of the road and showing people around, and yeah, it was
wild.
It was very routine days too, where here you kind of make your own business day or whatever it may be, but yeah.
So over there, would you say you're more of an employee versus like an independent business? Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
So very different that way.
Yeah, like I don't make my own brand. I was under their brand name, and yeah, it's definitely.
And how long did you do it for over there?
About 2 years, 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
So good base knowledge that then you can apply to actually build your own business over here.
Absolutely. Yeah, we did like cold calling, and yeah, you have to go out and like meet it was good. I think it was a very good experience for me, and I loved it. But yeah, that's how I got into it. And then we came back home, and I was like, well, I could do this here. Let's give it a go. And it's been great. So
what brought the two of you back home to Kelowna?
Family death, unfortunately. And then Amanda was offered a really good job. So we're like, you know what? And we wanted to have a family. We wanted to get married. And we were going to buy a flat in London, actually. And then we had to come home. And then we're like, you know what? Let's slow down. Like, we want to get married, start a family. We had, like, good friends over there, but no family support system.
Right.
So we're like, everyone's here. Let's just move back home. And so, yeah. It was a no-brainer, really.
I feel like that happens a fair bit, especially within the queer community, is people go out, kind of spread their wings, and then they often kind of come back to Kelowna or even settle in Kelowna, right? Like they've done the big city, and Kelowna has kind of that nice middle size in a sense.
Totally, yeah.
Where it's big enough, but not too big kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And then, and like yourself, I know a lot of people have family here, so it's a good place for that.
Yeah. No, Kelowna's great. I grew up in Vancouver,
in
North Van, and I still have family there, obviously. But I just the weather and things to do here, and it's not too big, as you said, but still really, really nice. So.
Yeah, it's easy to get out to go hiking and do outdoor stuff compared to some of the bigger cities, depending on obviously where you live.
Yeah.
How do you feel your queer identity has shaped your business and your values within your business?
I do a lot with the Pride community and like our community. I think it's just more of like an open book. Like, I don't really know. What do you mean? Like,
well, I mean, it depends because everyone. You kind of have your own values with your business of what's important and
of course,
how you dedicate resources. So whether it be advertising, promotion, sponsorship, any of those kind of pieces, right, that align with your business. And literally, as soon as I asked that, one thing I thought of is the logo that you use.
Yeah.
Because you kind of, you have a rainbow within it, but it's not like, I feel like a queer person would pick it up.
Yeah.
But probably most heterosexuals wouldn't.
No, you're very...
Because it's built into it, right?
Yeah.
And so I feel like that's a way that you bring your identity into your business.
Yeah.
Without, tattooing
The
lesbian
rainbow,
on your forehead.
Yeah. No, I do. I try to like make it more colorful, I think, too, and the rainbow and I've actually added the flag to my business card too now.
Okay.
So it's definitely on there. And yeah, as you said, I went to my marketing guy and I was like, okay, I'm very gay. I really want a rainbow somehow into my thing, but make it still like classy and house-like, right?
Yeah.
Condo or whatever. So yeah, you're totally right. Because a lot of people say that. They're like, oh, I never really noticed that. And I was like, yeah, it's rainbow in there.
Yeah. But do you find most queer people kind of pick up on it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally.
We always see that. It's like,
Yeah.
it's that sign, right? It's like,
Yeah.
you feel like you're in a safe place, and
Even wearing like a pin or whatever, like, like
pronoun pins or anything like that, right?
Yeah, no, totally.
At the very least, it shows you understand.
Yeah.
Do you feel there's any specific challenges that you faced being queer in real estate?
No, I don't. I think I'm lucky that way that I haven't.
Yeah.
I came into my brokerage saying, oh, my wife and I, I'm very open about it. And I've had people come up to me and say, thank you for being like that. Like, I have nothing to hide. And I think, like, as you grow, too, as a person, because I think back in the day, like, we were a bit nervous to hold hands walking down the street or whatever, right? And now I'm just like, yep, I'm married, I'm gay as can be, like, I've got a kid, like, take it or leave it, right? Like, I feel like it's like that. And I'm very lucky with my brokerage, too, that they've okay, yeah. Very accepting of it and get along with everybody. I feel like I'm like that anyways. And growing up in a hotel, you've got people around you all the time.
Totally.
So, but no, I think I'm very lucky that I haven't had issues.
Yeah, and no discrimination that you faced online or otherwise for being queer in real estate?
No.
No? And that's good. I mean, if there isn't, that's great. I mean, you obviously don't want that.
Yeah.
And I feel like the majority, at least people I've talked to so far, haven't, unless, they're in similar industries of like me, where it's more the entertainment side, where we're literally promoting about drag or whatnot, right?
Yeah.
And so those, I think, are the situations where we more commonly hear about it. One thing I don't think we talked about earlier about your business is the brokerage that you're with.
Royal LePage. Right. Yeah, which is one of the bigger brokerages in town here. So, yeah.
What do you feel has been your biggest challenge being in the entrepreneurial journey?
I think just like keeping to it. I think it's very hard to start out with this. I mean, even just cost wise to get into real estate is quite expensive. But and motivation. I think at first I'm like strict to my job and like pushing myself, and here it's like you make your own hours, you do what you will with it. In real estate, you don't stop, like your phone's always going, and like holidays, it doesn't matter, right? Like I've done deals Christmas Day, it was like 3:00 in the afternoon, subjects removed, okay, let's have Christmas dinner. Like I think keeping to that was
well, and I think to your point, like starting out, especially in real estate, is yes, you might have Royal LePage to help a bit at the beginning, but it's still training, really up to you, right?
Totally, yeah. Keep motivated, and once you have that first commission check, you're like, okay, wow, this is great. Like this, I love doing what I do, helping people, and a lot of your clients turn into friends. Right. In my aspect of, I don't know other people,
you're
but
a very friendly and approachable person.
Yeah, I think, and I care, which care more about the people than
it's not just about the commission check.
Of course, like you're not comfortable with this house, okay, let's go look at the 40th house.
You want them to be happy. You don't want them to buy it because they feel guilty of wasting your time, right?
No, hell no.
So and how do you keep yourself motivated in this business?
I think I look at different, like marketing too is almost fun because it motivates you to like do more, and like the more tech there is now, and I mean I've got a long way to go. There's a lot of realtors that are very good at like the drone stuff, right? I think that is, to me, is motivating because it's learning new stuff, and you're always learning anything. It might be about septic tanks or like attic, like you never know. Like every deal is so different, and that's what's I love. It's just great because you never know what to expect, and I think that's what I need instead of like a 9-to-5 kind of job, which I've done. But, that
actually makes me think, because there is that part of real estate where it is probably a bit more 9 to 5 when you're, like, say, working on like a development or something, right?
Yeah, of
Like when
course,
you're
yeah.
dedicated to stuff like that. But
Yeah, I mean, if you're doing like the show homes and stuff like that, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. Yeah. But I do more like residential and out exploring. But,
yeah. I know we talked about the logo, but I want to talk a bit about marketing and advertising to the queer community, and wondering if you do it, and if you do it, how do you do it?
I mean, advertising, like Instagram, I guess I use more. Facebook. I do a lot of, like, I try to sponsor different companies, as you know.
I know. I was waiting for you to say it.
Yeah. Different sponsorships.
Yeah.
So and just standing up for our community, I think, and like celebrating our trans visibility days, lesbian, like those kind of things. And
Right.
I try and do that as much as I can too, and be out there at the rallies. And I don't really want to be out there. Nobody wants to have these rallies
No.
happen, but yeah,
we
like
need to,
standing up for our
unfortunately.
community and showing that on my social media stuff, that yeah, I'm here to support you, me,
Yeah.
whatever it may be. So
And would you say more of your marketing promotion is kind of geared towards any particular demographic, or pretty broad?
pretty broad, I
Yeah.
think. I hope. I hope I'm like including everyone, but yeah. I've had a lot of business with our community. I mean, I think it's helped me. I think people feel comfortable, and I hope people feel comfortable with me as part of the community, right? And they want to work with somebody. And I've had quite a few clients that are that way, and they feel welcome with me. And it's such a big decision, real estate. Like, it's the biggest transaction of your life, basically, right?
Yeah, for
and
most people, it
I'm
really
here to
is.
like make sure you're okay. And
Yeah.
like, yes, like there's a whole legal aspect of it, and
course.
learning that and helping them through that is big. But yeah, no, I think my biggest thing is just hoping that clients of mine who become friends are comfortable with me, and I'm accepting of everyone.
With your business, do you focus on any specific LGBT initiatives in terms of, volunteering your time, donating funds, anything like that?
I mean, there are, yes. So Pride, we were on the board for a few years.
Yeah.
Advocacy Canada, I try and do as much with. Wilbur and I, he's always contacting me. Your company as well in the past. I think there's always room to grow, but and volunteering and as much as I can. Of course, the festival is always lots of fun. So,
Always.
yeah, I think, and just supporting companies, and if they need help with anything, like free parent hugs, like, yeah, there's lots out there. And
Yeah, we've got some great community groups like that, whether Advocacy Canada, etc., youth group.
yeah, totally.
Free Parent Hugs, Transparent. Yeah, there's a lot of great groups locally that help the LGBT and support us. So, wondering if you feel that there's any unique challenges to LGBT people who are entrepreneurs compared to heterosexual entrepreneurs.
I mean, yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would hope not. I mean, it's always like there's always going to be a stigma maybe that people have against the community, but
Yeah.
I hope not. I hope people that like can follow their heart and just say, yeah, this is me. This is my business. Going for it. Yeah. I hope not. I don't know. That's a hard one.
It is. I mean, it's a bit of a loaded question, but
Yeah.
I think, there are some industries that are still a bit behind the times in terms of
Okay.
like
Yeah, of
same-sex partners or, trans rights in terms of transition support, right, surgery and things like that.
Okay. Yeah.
So, but those are just some areas of business. And so, and everyone has, their own unique perspective and experience and things that they've seen over the years. And so I'm just curious, if you'd seen that. If not, that's okay too. It's not a wrong answer to say that you haven't seen anything.
I feel like that would be anywhere, kind of, unfortunately. But no, I don't.
Thinking long term with your business, do you have any kind of vision or a legacy that you would like to leave as you kind of get later in life and you get to the point where you're no longer an entrepreneur?
Well, real estate's a funny one because you can make it as little as you want or as big, and it's just how motivated you are. And I do, like, of course, like, be successful, but family values as well is a big thing.
Right.
I'm okay just being that realtor that is here to help and not flashing everywhere or whatever it may be. I don't know. Like,
yeah, well, that's okay.
I mean, that costs quite a bit too to put a billboard up or whatever it may be. But no, I think just living a stable, like, good life and having family values and stuff like that is just my biggest thing, I think, in traveling.
Yeah.
But no, for business wise, no, I'm not, like, I don't really want to be that big flashy
That's
person.
okay.
And
yeah.
But I just want to be here as, like, a support and just.
Right.
I am who I am.
Yeah.
And I sell houses.
Exactly. So come meet Sarah.
Yeah. Let's have some coffee or tea, you know.
Yeah. Chat about houses.
Yeah.
Find your dream home.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna tweak things a little bit now and go into what I call the lightning round. So this is just this or that. It's very simple things.
Okay.
And so you just pick one or the other. You don't really think about it. Just answer.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's do it.
So dinner at a fancy restaurant or home cooked meal?
Ooh, home cooked meal.
Multiple short vacations in a year or one long vacation?
Well, that's hard because we're going on a vacation. Maybe multiple.
Okay. Mexico or Hawaii?
Mexico.
Spain or Portugal?
Ooh, Portugal.
Vancouver or Victoria?
Vancouver.
Toronto or Montreal?
Montreal.
Early riser or like to sleep in?
Early riser.
If either option's available, would you drive or would you fly?
I like driving.
Okay. Audiobooks or real books?
Real books.
This is for your business. Are you more of a debit or a credit card user?
Oh, credit card.
Smart. Bank or credit union that you deal with for the business?
Oh, bank or credit union? Kind of bank. Let's say bank.
Okay. Popcorn, yay or nay?
Yeah.
Yeah. I find popcorn's one of those things. It's like you love it or you hate it.
Oh.
Is what I find with most. Like, I love it.
Really? People hate it?
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Yeah. Fruit on a pizza.
Pardon?
Fruit on a pizza.
Like pineapple?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all right.
No.
What?
I don't like it.
Okay, fair.
So actually, someone corrected me recently, and they're like, but tomato's a fruit and tomato sauce. And I was like,
oh, that's getting technical.
Don't
what
start
about, like,
with
the
me.
apple with, like, the drizzle and, like...
Okay, you're right. Just pineapple. I should really just change that to pineapple.
Just say Hawaiian. Or not. I don't know what it's...
Okay, so this is just like 1 or 2 word answers. Favorite type of music?
Oh my gosh. I don't know.
What do you typically find yourself? Are you more like country, pop, hip hop, rap?
You know what? I like musicals. I was listening to Andrew Lloyd Webber before.
Okay, fair enough. Musicals, that's great. Favorite time of the year?
Summer.
Yeah.
I think, yeah. Let's go summer.
And what's your favorite place to travel for vacation?
Ooh, that's hard. I'd say Bulgaria.
Okay. And then I've got kind of just a few last questions to kind of wrap up the chat today is how do you handle work-life balance and self-care as an entrepreneur?
That's hard. So
especially with a young kid.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You know what, though? And that really is prioritized everything.
Yeah.
I think when I first started, I was very like work. Like I need to, you know.
Yeah.
And now with Theo and of course with Amanda, like you learn that your life matters too, and it's not just about, you know, that's a tricky one, but at the same time, because a lot of our business is timed. Like if you get an offer, it's timed for how long you have to get back to them. But that being said, yeah, you learn. I've learned to adapt and make it all work and have that time. Put my phone away, whatever it may be, right? Yeah. And just focus on my son and my wife and family and yeah.
That's good.
But I think as over time, you grow and figure it out.
Yeah, to find that balance.
Yeah,
I
it's
haven't
hard.
found that balance yet. But...
No, right? Like I don't think there's like a right or wrong way to do it.
100%. Yeah.
Everyone's so different, but
every entrepreneur is different in how they figure out what that balance is for them. And it isn't always, it's not cut or dry, right? If you're the type of person who has, whether it's shift work or you're 9 to 5, excuse me. I think I don't want to say it's easier to plan that work-life balance, but it can be because, you don't have someone, messaging you on Christmas Day to finish up a deal. Or, for me, it could be, at 10 o'clock at night, all of a sudden my ticketing app goes down and all of a sudden I can't sell tickets, right? So we have to ebb and flow. And for some days it just means I'm going to stay in bed till 9 o'clock, right?
Yeah.
So we each have it, and we just got to continually evolve that. And with a young kid, that looks different than what, someone like Benoit might, right? For how he does it, because he doesn't have a kid.
Yeah.
Right? But is in the same industry as you. And so that's why I want to talk about it is to share that it's very different for each of us, right? And how we balance that. So, but it's still important either way, is to find what that looks.
I think having a support system that understands, like my family understands that, I gotta go, I got a deal happening or whatever. Yeah. Like that's huge.
Absolutely.
And if you don't have that, I don't know.
Yes.
I would struggle.
Yeah. But if your partner wasn't understanding that way, that's sometimes it could be the middle of a meal, all of a sudden shit, you gotta go.
Yeah. No,
right?
totally.
Yeah.
And
I need that support.
That's happened all the time.
But, I bet.
Yeah. And like same goes for her too. Like whatever it may be. But no, that's hard. And you are right. I think it is person by person.
It is. Yeah. But, do you have any tips or strategies that you can share with other entrepreneurs about, staying resilient when the times get tough in business?
Work on your background stuff when it's not as busy. That's what I've learned.
And what do you classify as background stuff?
Like contacts, like keeping in touch. It might be your marketing. You might want to do a big promotion or whatever it may be. It could be stuff like that. And I've learned that's what I focus on. And like organizing stuff too is a big one for me. And getting organized. And like in the slow times, take it. Because when you're busy and you can't stop. Yeah. And my wife has helped me with a lot of that, because I get very anxious if I am slow and I'm like, okay, I need to sell another house or whatever it may be. But learn to take time for yourself. And even if it's like yoga or going to the gym or whatever. Just
need that time away.
Take it and work on other aspects that you might have forgotten about. Who knows? But.
I found this other thing too with entrepreneurship is, many of us, it's very cycle based in terms of like we have our really busy times and then we have our really quiet times.
Like what do you do in quiet times?
Sleep.
Yeah.
And also, what is a quiet time? That's usually Christmas. Is like the time of year when it's really quiet. But no, similar thing is I try and work on some of the back end systems and streamline things, or training someone to help or whatever that might be. But do you have any favorite books or podcasts that you listen to?
Not really.
No, that's okay.
I'm not a big podcast person.
That's okay.
I say that as a mom.
I listen more audiobooks than I do podcasts.
Yeah.
Is what I've been, but I ebb and flow.
Yeah.
For me, it's also sometimes certain podcasts just have a lot of ads in it.
Oh.
And drive me insane. But, so I said I'd like, eventually on the audio only version of this, we will likely have some ads, but it's not going to be like every 5 minutes like some of those. So I'm like, listen to more freaking ads than I am the podcast. Like enough is enough.
Yeah.
And I like to close this up. I have one final question and then opportunity if you want to share anything. But what advice would you give to a fellow queer person who's considering the entrepreneurial journey?
Just do it.
Yeah.
You got this. Yeah. Be who you are. I think keeping to your authentic self and just being true. And even if that does or does not reflect through your business, but just do it. Yeah. It's scary, but just do it.
Right? It's really is.
But and I think just do it. Be yourself is the biggest thing. And be open to new ideas, I think, too. Agreed.
Yeah. I don't think I've had anyone that I've talked to both with this podcast and out of it, of people that have gone down the entrepreneurial journey and truly was unhappy with it. Yeah. Yes, we all get frustrated with it at times and want to throw in the towel. I mean, I think that's at least twice a week for me. If anybody say like, no, don't do it. Yeah. Go back. Yeah. Go work for someone else. I mean, there's days we still do that as entrepreneurs, but Yeah.
No, I think you're, yeah. I mean, what do you tell yourself? Or tell somebody?
I mean, I have days where I start looking for job postings because I'm just like, the finances aren't working out or something like that.
That's the biggest thing I think that people just struggle with.
Yeah.
And everyone does.
Totally. Yeah. And I think, it's key to work with people that you also have some flexibility with sometimes, because there's going to be months or periods where the cash flow is just not what it should be.
Yeah.
And it might take you a little longer to pay a bill, but and I've been fortunate to work with people that have been flexible on that in the past, and grateful for that, because if they weren't, my business wouldn't be here today. Yeah. Yeah. Any other thoughts that you want to share about entrepreneurship before we wrap things up?
I don't know. That's a funny one. Like, I never really thought of myself as an entrepreneur. I'm just a realtor that sells houses. I didn't think it's like, I don't know. Like, I got my business. Like, I don't know. To me, that's a whole different thing, and I just don't think of it that way. Maybe I don't know if that's good or bad, but
I could say
it's just I've like found what I love to do, and that's it. I don't know, but I think real estate's great. I love it, obviously. It's not for everyone, but not other jobs are either, right?
Agreed. Like, not everyone can be an entrepreneur. I mean,
no,
I shouldn't say that. Let me rephrase that. You have to really want to be an entrepreneur to be one, but not everyone wants to be one. And if you don't want to be one, it's pretty hard to be one.
Yeah, I guess so.
Right?
Yeah.
But I think, and we don't all think of, Coleman's on here and he's a car salesperson, right?
Yeah.
And so, yes, you're right. People might not always attribute these type of career paths as being an entrepreneur. And I mean, you said yourself, right? You never really consider that for yourself, even though you are like, you align with the definition of being an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And some entrepreneurs, like, you're very on your own figuring things out. And then there's some, like, especially car sales, I think, in real estate, where there's a lot more structure in place for you, both to help you succeed, but also regulatory.
Oh, yeah. Huge.
Right. So.
And leadership, I think, too, is a big part of it.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing is, like, you're responsible to go out there and get your own clients. Yeah. And you're responsible to help them either sell a house, buy a house, whatever it is, and meet the regulatory framework. So, yeah, I mean, you're out there getting the business yourself. To me, that's entrepreneurship, right?
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, thanks for being on and letting me pick your brain today and sharing more of your journey and about your family and life and all that fun stuff. So, I appreciate it.
Any other deep questions?
No, that was I think we got there. Yeah. I like to close it up with those kind of questions. I think it's good, A, for consistency, but I think those are some really key points to share with people, especially about, there's a lot of discussion around mental health right now, and I think it's important that we touch on it, and, we all can control our own lives in terms of how we handle and deal with stress. Yeah. Right.
That's huge. And I think as you grow, as you age, you learn to do that. Absolutely. Yeah. Like, as we said, not drinking anymore, whatever it may be. Yeah,
well, we're both on the sober train right now.
Yeah, and going to the gym or whatever it may be. Like,
I don't do enough of that.
Go for a walk.
Never enough. Never enough time a day, right?
I know. Well, I just started, so but it is a lot of mental health stuff too. Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
But
great.
Get into real estate. It's fun.
Yeah. There was a day I considered it.
Yeah?
Yeah. I had a few people that told me I should get into it, and I was just like, it just doesn't feel like it aligns with me and what I want to do with life.
Totally fine.
So I never did. But lots of friends do it, and both on the real estate side, property management side.
Oh, neat. Yeah.
I've known people obviously on the brokerage side. Like, there's so many different aspects of it too, right?
There is, yeah. There's definitely a lot to learn. Yeah. That's the thing. That's what I like, I think, too, is that you're never, like, you're always learning something. Yeah. Whatever it may be. And that's what's, like, keeps me into it, I guess. Yeah. But,
well, and that's, technology changes. So, you mentioned, right, like drones and stuff are, new within the last couple of years and how that worked. And I know there's different, like, 3D modeling you can do with different technology.
Virtual staging, stuff like that.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, it's never ending. It's pretty cool.
And you have to stay current or constantly learning. Otherwise, you're just going to fall out of the market.
Yeah, I suppose. Right? Yeah.
Some aspect.
Yeah.
I mean, if you just did the exact same thing and never changed for 20 years, it's highly unlikely that you're going to be...
Everything's pretty digital now.
Yeah. If you try to do everything paper-based today, people are like, who the fuck is this? Like,
I'm sure there are many that would want to go back that way.
Oh, I'm sure there are.
But everything's changing so much. But.
I like if someone sent me a paper contract right now, I'd be like, what the fuck is this? Actually, I did have to do some paper contract because it was for my business.
Not Authentisign or whatever. That's what we do.
Is that
DocuSign? Yeah.
Which is nice. I'm like, yes, I would like to just take my iPad and do it right now. Like, wear it from my car, crazy. From sitting on an airplane, even if we have Wi-Fi, right? There's some place and you just get it done and send it off.
I've still done that though. I still have paper like in my car, like contract, like blank stuff.
Oh, do you?
For sure, yeah. I've written deals on the front of my car. Okay, here you go.
Well, and that's the thing, right? As entrepreneurs, we have to get creative sometimes.
Yeah, totally.
So, I love it.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks for taking some time. Thanks. I have to thank your mom and dad for letting us take over one of their rooms. And appreciate taking some time to chat. So
touch of English is what it's called.
That's
My mom is very British.
Touch it. Yeah, you can still hear the accent.
Yeah.
So that's great.
But this is fun.
Awesome. Cool. Well, thanks again, and thanks for tuning in to another episode of Queerpreneurs Unleashed. We'll see you next time.